Do you feel tired no matter how much you sleep? If you're over 60 and running out of energy by early afternoon, here's the thing. Everyone assumes that's just part of getting older. It's not. In almost every case, there's a real, fixable reason behind it, and today we're walking through 6 of the most common ones, plus exactly what you can do about each. Stick around, because reason number 5 is one people miss constantly. Reason number 1, poor sleep quality. This one surprises people, because a lot of folks say, I'm in bed for 8 hours, so why am I still exhausted? Here's the catch. Time in bed isn't the same thing as quality sleep. As we age, our sleep architecture naturally shifts. We spend less time in deep, restorative sleep and more time in lighter stages, which means you can technically log 8 hours and still wake up feeling like you got 4. Add in getting up 2 or 3 times a night for the bathroom, or joint discomfort that pulls you out of deep sleep without you fully realizing it, and your body never finishes the repair work it's supposed to do overnight. Take a common scenario. Someone spends years assuming their constant exhaustion is just from a stressful job, coming home every night and napping before dinner without fail. It isn't until a family member finally mentions it to the doctor that anyone digs deeper. A sleep study reveals severe sleep apnea, with deep sleep happening for only half the time it seemed like. Once treated properly, it's genuinely life-changing within weeks. The fix, as a starting point, is simpler than a sleep study. Instead of tracking hours, start tracking how you feel about 30 minutes after waking up. Groggy, foggy, need caffeine just to function? That's a signal worth bringing to your doctor. Keep a simple sleep log, bathroom trips, how rested you feel on a scale of 1 to 10, and bring that to your appointment. It gives your provider something concrete instead of just, I'm tired, which honestly gets brushed off far too often. A few small habits help too. Keep the bedroom cool and dark, limit screens in that last hour before bed, and if nighttime bathroom trips are the main disruption, ask your doctor about the timing of fluids or diuretics in the evening. Reason number 2, medication side effects and timing. This is a big one, and it's one of the most overlooked. A lot of people manage multiple prescriptions at once, and fatigue is a documented side effect of an enormous number of common medications and supplements, certain blood pressure medications, some antidepressants, plenty of over-the-counter allergy medications. Here's what people miss. It's not just which medications you're taking, it's when. Taking a sedating medication in the morning instead of at night can leave you dragging through the entire day without ever connecting it back to the pill you took at breakfast. Switching an allergy medication from morning to night, for example, can mean most of the drowsiness wears off before you're even awake, leaving noticeably more energy during the day. The fix is simple, but takes some initiative. Bring a full, complete list of everything you take to your next appointment. Prescriptions, over-the-counter meds, supplements, anything occasional, and ask directly, could any of these be contributing to my fatigue, and is the time of day I take them correct? You'd be surprised how often a small timing adjustment, just moving one pill from morning to night, changes someone's entire day. This matters even more if you see more than one doctor, since each provider may only see part of the picture. A cardiologist prescribing one medication may have no idea what your primary care doctor added last month. And fatigue can be the first sign 2 medications are interacting in a way neither doctor intended. An annual medication review, sometimes called a brown bag review, where you bring in every single bottle, is one of the most underused tools in healthcare. It's worth asking your pharmacist about directly. Reason number 3, underhydration. As we get older, our sense of thirst actually becomes less reliable. The body's internal signal that says, drink something, gets quieter with age, which means you can become significantly dehydrated before you ever consciously feel thirsty. And dehydration doesn't just make you tired in an obvious way. It shows up as brain fog, sluggishness, even mild dizziness, or trouble concentrating. A lot of people mistake this for just getting older, when really the body is asking for water and not sending a clear enough signal to know how to ask for it. The fix needs to be intentional rather than automatic. Keep a marked water bottle nearby and sip on a schedule rather than waiting to feel thirsty, because by the time thirst kicks in, you may already be behind. If you're managing a fluid restriction for a heart or kidney condition, that's a conversation to have specifically with your doctor. Don't guess at your own numbers based on what you read online. One more thing, coffee and tea count toward fluids, but they're not a full substitute for water. And if you're avoiding water because bathroom trips feel inconvenient, that's a genuinely common reason people quietly underhydrate. Working around that pattern is usually the better long-term choice for your energy levels. Reason number 4, sedentary days. This one feels backwards, but it's true. The less you move, the more tired you tend to feel, not the other way around. When your days become mostly sitting, whether from mobility limitations, weather keeping you indoors, or a habit that crept in slowly, your body starts to decondition, and deconditioned muscles genuinely burn less efficiently. So the fatigue that makes you want to sit more is actually being made worse by the sitting itself. It becomes a cycle that feeds on itself. The fix doesn't mean a gym membership or an intense workout. It means short, consistent movement, even 5 to 10 minutes a few times a day. A short walk to the mailbox and back. A few laps around the living room during commercials. Gentle seated exercises if standing is difficult. That's genuinely enough to start reversing the cycle over a couple of weeks. If mobility is a real concern, this is worth bringing up with your doctor, since a physical therapist can build a safe, personalized movement plan that accounts for balance issues, joint pain, or past injuries, rather than guessing at what's safe alone. The goal isn't intensity, it's consistency. A little bit most days beats a lot once in a while, every time. Reason number 5, undiagnosed anemia or thyroid issues. This is one of the most serious items on this list, because fatigue caused by anemia or an underactive thyroid can be genuinely severe, and it gets missed constantly because tired gets chalked up to age instead of getting properly investigated with blood work. Anemia means your blood isn't carrying enough oxygen efficiently to your muscles and brain. An underactive thyroid slows down basically every metabolic process in the body. Both show up as exhaustion that simply does not improve, no matter how much you rest or how well you sleep. Other signs worth watching alongside the fatigue include feeling unusually cold, noticeable hair thinning, pale skin, or shortness of breath with activities that used to feel easy. None of these alone is a diagnosis, but together they're exactly the kind of pattern a good blood panel can catch early. There's a pattern that shows up again and again in gastroenterology settings. Someone finally goes to their primary care provider about fatigue. Blood work comes back, showing anemia, and further investigation finds a small amount of blood in the stool that wasn't visible to the eye. A referral for colonoscopy and upper endoscopy follows, and more often than not, something is found, an intestinal polyp that could have become cancer down the road, or a slowly bleeding stomach ulcer. The fatigue and the anemia were the warning signs, and because those patients followed through, they avoided a much more serious problem later. The fix starts with a simple blood test. The hard part is usually knowing how to actually bring it up in a rushed 15-minute appointment, so it's worth writing down your symptoms clearly beforehand and asking directly for blood work rather than accepting, let's just monitor it for another 6 months. And the last one on today's list, reason number 6, social isolation and mental fatigue. This one doesn't get talked about nearly enough. Loneliness and a lack of regular social connection are genuinely physically draining. This isn't just an emotional thing. When your days don't have much interaction or mental stimulation built in, your energy, motivation, and even sleep quality can all take a measurable hit. It's not in your head, it's a real physiological response to isolation that shows up in the body as fatigue. This is especially common in people who recently lost a spouse, stopped driving, or moved away from a longtime community because the isolation often happens gradually enough that nobody, including the person experiencing it, quite notices how much has changed. The fix is finding small, sustainable ways to reconnect. A weekly phone call, a class at a local senior center, a faith community, or a regular walk with a neighbor. What fits depends heavily on someone's specific life, health situation, and mobility level. So it's worth experimenting with a few options rather than assuming one solution fits everyone. So those are the 6 real reasons people feel tired after 60. Sleep quality, medication timing, hydration, sedentary days, undiagnosed anemia or thyroid issues, and social isolation. None of those mean you have to accept exhaustion as your new normal. Most of these have a real fix once you know the right questions to ask. So tell me, which of these 6 reasons hit closest to home for you, or for someone you're caring for? Drop a comment below, because if you're dealing with fatigue right now, chances are someone else watching this exact video is dealing with the same thing, and your comment might be exactly what helps them figure out which one to bring up with their own doctor. See you next time. Next.